Hey basketball players, today I'm going to talk to you about how you can get a scholarship in the year 2020 and what you can do to get a scholarship over the next 10 years. This is a very exciting video for me to explain to you how you can do this because pretty well anyone can get a scholarship if they put in the work. So let's get down to it. I hope that you enjoy. Okay, so really quickly, some of the basics that you can do. Some of the basics is, of course, playing basketball pretty well every single day is going to allow you to get better at, obviously, basketball, get a little bit better fitness, and obviously, when you're not putting in the work, somebody else is, and they're getting better than you. So, just a basic, work hard. Hard working, almost like the whole Kobe Bryant and LeBron James sayings of just, if you're not putting in the work, you're not going to go anywhere. You need to put in the work. Number 2, another basic is, of course, education. You need to have really good grades to get a scholarship. Now, what I mean by really good grades is not like, oh, I got 65%, I passed, that's good. No. You need to get over 85% in most schools, some schools even needing you to get even higher than that. So if you're looking to get a scholarship, you obviously need to put in the work on the basketball court, in the fitness room, but also you need to put in the work in education. This is a full-time job. If you really want to be a full-time basketball player in the future, you need to work on this skill full-time right now. It doesn't matter if you're in grade 1, 6, or 12. You need to put in the work. If you're not looking to put 40 hours or more a week into playing basketball and your education, then you're not going to be putting 40 hours a week into playing basketball and as a full-time career later on down the road. Education and athletics, number 1, if you want to become a scholarship athlete. Now, going from there, of course, I'm being really serious. You're probably saying, this guy is just trying to be really serious. Whatever. Believe me, if you're not putting in the work on both of those things, you're not going to be going anywhere. Now, number 2 is something that many players are overlooking, and that is a social media presence. I know there's a lot of people saying, social media is horrible, don't do it, get off of everything, but I'm telling you that it's actually beneficial for you. Number 1 is YouTube. Where are you going to be putting your highlight tapes? There's really only one place that's easy to share your videos, and that's YouTube. Of course, there's Vimeo. That's another place you could stick your videos, but generally speaking, if you want an easy place to share your videos, it's YouTube. All you need to do is upload that highlight tape and get that HTML, that quick link up top, and then just share it with all the schools that you're trying to get a scholarship with. Instagram is another fantastic place to share your highlights. This is where you can basically show off to some of your peers what you're doing in basketball, how well you're playing, and believe me, if you're able to gain a big enough following, you may just be able to gain some attention from universities who may not have been looking at you before. And you can even go after those universities on Instagram and tag them in your posts so that now you have a 0.0001% chance of that school seeing what you're doing, and they may just start contacting you. A lot of great players are doing this right now. There's a YouTuber and also Instagram person called Baby Birdman. He is putting out a ton of content and he's got a ton of followers. There's also one locally to me out in Ancaster. Their name is the Bernard Brothers. They're very young and they're putting out content because I know that they're trying to go as far as they can in basketball. So definitely go check out those 2 accounts. But really quickly as well, a nice thing about putting your content, your highlight tapes on both Instagram and YouTube is the fact that you're growing a following. And that is very important in the future, because if something happens where basketball just might not work out, or the education field just might not work out for you, you still have a possible following on social media, and that can make you a ton of money. Now, I'm going to go into the business of basketball in another video coming up very, very soon, but as you can see on this channel, I have at the current time, which is 2020, February 13th, I am making a full-time income from this YouTube channel, from my Instagram, and from running my business that is getting leads from those social media accounts. And I run a basketball training company here in Hamilton, Ontario. And basically, when you think of it, the business of basketball is fantastic. There's so many different parts of the business that you can kind of dig out a niche for yourself and be able to build something on the side so that, let's say basketball doesn't work out, let's say the education doesn't work out, or you just say, I don't really want to work a job with a horrible manager, then you can just say, well, you know what, I'm making $40,000, $50,000 a year from YouTube and Instagram. I might as well just do that and then grow that even bigger. The next thing is building yourself a cover letter and a resume. So why do you need a cover letter and a resume? Some of these coaches, many of these coaches are probably not going to be actively searching you out. So if you're an international student, you're probably going to have to wait until later high school to start going after these schools. But if you're in the United States, you could basically start contacting them from like grade 8, grade 9 and on, and maybe make a rapport with that coach so that maybe he might give you a scholarship later on down the road. Now, I've broken this part in on another video, but I'm going to explain it really quickly right now. You can go on to Google right now. Try it. Pause this video and go on Google and type in whatever school you like. So let's say you want to go to Syracuse University. This is what I did when I was in high school. This is why I know, and this is why it can work for you. You can type in Syracuse University men's basketball team. You're going to find their website. It's probably going to be in one of the top 2 to 3 searches, and you can click on it. If it says Syracuse University MBB, that's men's basketball, you can click on that. Or if you're a lady, women's basketball team, WBB. And then from there, you can go to the coaches page on the website, and you'll see the coaches listed out. And I can guarantee you, if there's 7 coaches, there's going to be at least 6 of the coaches with email addresses where you could email the coaches. Now, I don't expect a reply. Believe me. It can be quite hard to get a reply from some of the coaches, but as a trainer myself, I have contacted a couple of schools for previous players, and they've replied to me asking, hey, that player seems to be really good. I'm going to be talking to their parents. Thank you for their email. Because I reached out to the schools on behalf of the parents and the players. They asked me to, and we got a response. So that gives you another idea. You don't have to go and reach out yourself. If you don't feel comfortable building a resume and you don't feel comfortable going up to your parents or a peer to kind of peer read some of your resumes, then you can maybe talk to your high school coach or your AAU or rep coach and say, do you mind just putting out a short letter saying how good of a player I am, and then link my email address, my parents' email address, and maybe a highlight tape. Here's my YouTube link for that, and you might just get a response. The response that we got was those players got invites to camps. Because every university, or at least most universities, have a summer camp or a March break camp that those players can go to, and those coaches from those teams will actually be participating and watching those camps. And if they like how you're playing, then you might just get a spot on their team later on in the future, or at least you'll be talking to those coaches and building a rapport. It's all about trying to communicate with as many coaches as possible. So, my goal for you, if you're not getting looked at just yet, Build 10 to 12 cover letters and resumes where you could change out the coaches' names, the theme, the topic, whatever. You have to build 10 to 12 because obviously every team has different things that they're looking for. You may be a really good ball handler and shooter, but that team over there needs a ball handler probably next year. Let's say you're a grade 12. That team needs a ball handler, so I'm going to make a custom one for ball handling. Those 4 schools need ball handlers. Hey, I'm a fantastic ball handler. Here's my highlight tape. Here's my contact information, all that stuff, and you're all set. And it's a super simple way of basically getting your name out. But it's also giving you the ability to contact tons and tons of schools. It just takes a lot of effort. I can guarantee you right now, if you're going to contact schools, you're probably at max, if you have a weekend on your hand, Saturday and Sunday, if you put 4 hours aside for each one of those days, you could probably contact about 2 schools an hour with a good cover letter custom made for that school. So there you go. There you have it. From grade 9, there's 52 weekends a year. That's a possibility of how many? How many schools that you could contact? About maybe 200 a year if you really put in the work. And I can guarantee you, if you put in the work on the court, in school, and then putting your highlight tapes together and sending them off to schools, I can pretty well guarantee you that there's going to be at least one coach interested in what you have to bring. It may not be the University of Duke. It might not be North Carolina, but if you can get into a D1 school or even a D2 or a D3 school and maybe even a NAIA school at first and build your way up, that's really, really impressive. And once you make it to that level, you may not be one of the top players. You could still possibly go play over in Europe, over in Asia, Middle East, pretty well anywhere. There's a lot of teams looking for really good players, and if you're putting in the work, I can guarantee you that you could make a university team and go quite high to certain teams. There's teams all over the world. There's even a new team in Canada called the CEBL. So believe me, put in the work, and I know you can make it. Anyways, that's all I have for today. That is how you can get a scholarship in the year 2020 and beyond. I hope that you have enjoyed. If you have, hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys again tomorrow for another Twice a Day basketball video.